Hello, everyone. This is Kama with the online talk show Kama Speaks. And today I'm speaking with Ebony Kyle. And I'm going to let Ebony Kyle tell you a little bit about herself. But there were some things that I noticed on her fun facts that I realized that her and I are so similar. For one, we have the same logo. We make dreams a reality. And the beauty about the world is that there's so many people in the world that each one of us can actually touch. And I love that because I haven't heard anybody else. I'm going to read her just a couple of her fun facts about her that's similar to me. Like the first one, she said Bishop T.D. Jakes is her favorite spiritual leader, and she plans on meeting him one day. And that's one of the things. I listen to T.D. Jakes every morning at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That man is awesome, and I would love to be able to meet him. Kevin Hart is one of her favorite comedians, which is one of my favorite as well. She said that she loves to read anything inspirational, motivational, or anything that adds wisdom and knowledge. That's me. I have Les Brown in my car all the time. Anything that's motivating, I try to have with me. She's one of the most down-to-earth people you'll ever meet. She loves to sing. She says, no, I'm not a singer, but I do it anyway because it's fun. That's me. I mean, that's just me. Matter of fact, almost every single one of her fun facts is me except number 3. I am old. I like old school, but I'm just not a fan of music. But we have a lot of similarities. She is a life coach, and she's going to help you get yourself together so that you can achieve the goals and the dreams that you're looking for. So I want to welcome my guest, Miss Ebony K.
Hi.
Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Ebony, why don't you tell the audience a little bit more about yourself and tell them about your business.
Okay. Well, my journey actually started about 3 years ago. I just got to a place in my life where I just felt like there had to be more to life. I wasn't really happy with what I was seeing in my life, and I was like, something has to change. Yes. So at that time, I was also watching a lot of Oprah, Super Soul Sunday, getting that inspirational and connecting with that spirituality, and that is what started me to want to embark on my own spiritual journey. I started going back to church. I started reading my Bible more. I started praying more, just trying to get some type of direction and figure out what I was here for. Shortly after that, I started a blog, Fun Faith Love, and it was
what's the name?
It was Fun Faith Love.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't have it anymore, but I started it shortly after I started my spiritual journey. And I just feel like God was calling me to do more. Like I was on the right path, but you're thinking too small. I want you to think bigger. So shortly after that, fast forward a little bit forward, I started meeting with some co-workers. I started meeting with my best friend. We all had dreams, we all had goals, and we were all tired of working jobs that we just didn't like. So we got together and we said, you know what, hey, let's pursue our goals. Let's hold each other accountable. Let's motivate each other. Let's pray for each other. Let's share information and resources until we get to where it is we want to be. And shortly after that, I started my business, Ebony K. I went and registered, and here I am today.
Wow. Well, that's awesome. What I want to talk about is something that most people have a problem with. You said you talk to some friends, and normally what happens is when you tell your friends what you want to do with some of your goals and dreams, they're usually the ones, sometimes, well, I'll say more times than not, they're the ones that are like, well, are you sure this is what you want to do? So how did the conversation come about with you and your friends to make you realize that you want to go on with your journey?
Well, when I had Fun Faith Love, that was actually supposed to be a joint effort between me and my best friend. And she's really into fashion. So I was going to cover more of the faith part. She was going to cover more of the fun part and the fashion part. At the time, she couldn't really commit to it, so it ended up falling on me. But she still had that fashion desire inside of her that she didn't really want to pursue. And my coworkers, just a regular conversation, she just came out and said, I have dreams. I want to write a book. Another young lady I was working with, she was doing event designing. So we all had those goals and those dreams that we wanted to accomplish. And none of us, for some reason, we just didn't knock anybody's goal. We didn't say, well, that's crazy, or why would you want to do that? We just all were like, okay, that's what you want to do? Okay, no, you can do that. And we're going to work together and we're all going to do that.
Now, your friends that you guys that you decided to work with, what are you guys doing businesses together now, or are you guys just going on your own, just supporting one another?
Right now, we're just going on our own, supporting one another.
Okay. And let's get more in depth about your business. As a life coach, what is a life coach and what do you do as a life coach?
A life coach is pretty much a collaboration between a coach and a client. And the coach's job is to pretty much acknowledge the client's obstacles and challenges that they're facing currently that is getting in their way of achieving their goals and reaching their highest potential. The client on their own, they may not necessarily be able to discover those challenges or those obstacles and get through them alone. So it's pretty much a creative process between the coach and the client to come up with an action plan for their life, to discover what the obstacles are, what the challenges are, and how we're going to get through that.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, well, for me, there's a ton of different fields in coaching. Like, you can be a coach in almost any field in the world. My specialty is self-discovery and also singleness and dating coaching. Those are my passion areas.
Let's talk about that, because that's the area I am in right now, is the single mode. I'm dating one person right now who I've been talking to. It seems like we've been talking forever, which we have been. But I think right now we decided to at this point to actually yesterday just say, you know what, we're going to take this one day at a time and see where we want to go with this, or where we're headed. So what are some things that you would coach someone like me that has been kind of seeing somebody off and on for the last few years, but we just decided now, let's try this. Let's see if this thing is actually going to work. What's some advice that you would give?
Well, one thing I would definitely tell you or advise you on is to make sure that his characteristics is in line with what you really want in your relationship. A lot of times people do a lot of bending just to have someone in their life because they just don't want to be alone. They're afraid of being lonely. They just want somebody there. So they just take what's good enough for right now. So I would definitely advise that whatever your boundaries are, whatever you are seeking in your mate, whether it's his spirituality, his religion is in alignment with yours. He has future goals, expanding a business. Some people want an entrepreneur. If they're a boss lady or a boss man, they want the same thing. So I would just really advise that you set your boundaries, get clear on what it is that you want, and that you're not settling just because you may not want to be alone.
And you know what? That's a very, very good point, because at one point I had to ask myself, being in it for so long, am I settling? Is this where I want to be? Do I feel like I can't get anybody else because I'm so comfortable with him? And I had to do some soul searching myself, a lot of soul searching. And I did realize that I probably in the last few years wasn't even really ready for a relationship with anybody, because I had just left my ex-husband that I was with, and we're divorced now 5 years, thank God. Okay. Now that we're done, and he's all the way out of my system, which he has been for the last probably longer than that. But I had to realize that I didn't want to be in a situation where I just wanted to be with somebody just to say I have somebody. And I believe that's where I was the last few years. And then I started getting to the point this year, if he's here, I don't care. If he's not, if he's here, great. If he's not, I don't care. But then I started realizing there's some great qualities about him, and we just gotta work it out. But my daughter and I were talking, and we were talking about the young girls today. And I don't know, do you deal with young girls, the younger generation?
My focus is 25 older. I do have a workshop set up next month to speak to some young parents. Okay. Youngest is going to be at least about 16. So that'll be my first time. It should be fun.
Let let me give you something you might want to talk to them about. You can tell me how this works. My daughter was telling me how the girls these days, and she's 14, they are into height. A guy has to be 6 feet. He has to wear a certain type of shoe. He has to wear a certain type of clothes. And I'm sitting here thinking with the things that they're asking for, to me, some of it is not realistic, because what 15-year-old is making that kind of money? If they do make that kind of money, they're making that just a week. If they want them to have this $150 shoe, you know, they're in school full time. They have this different mindset. And I want to get your advice. And what do you feel about these young girls and how they feel that these men have to look in order for them to be with them? What would be some of your advice to these young girls with that issue? Because I'm hearing that more, and I'll tell you, I've heard it too with some people I knew when they were 19, 20 years old. They had the same mindset as well. The height had to be a certain height. Clothes had to be a certain way. One girl, he had to wear basketball shorts with a t-shirt, stupid stuff. But tell me your thoughts on that.
Okay. Well, like I deal with older women, but as far as the young girls, I would just advise them to more so pay attention to what the young man has to offer from the inside. When I was younger, when I was probably about 16, 17 years old, I guess it's pretty much a mindset thing. It's something you really have to grow into and something you have to learn. And really, if they don't have that guidance from a strong female mentor or guardian, mother, whomever, to really teach them those things, it's something that they're really going to have to learn on their own as they mature and get older, that it's not all about height or the type of shoes they're wearing, or if they're wearing hooping shorts with tank top, but it's going to be about, is he honest? Can you trust him? Is he financially responsible? Can he love you unconditionally? Those type of things. And I just really think it's a growth mindset kind of thing, that they'll get it the more they continue to grow.
Yes, and that's what it is. I hope. It's just right now we're living in a society that everything is about selfies. They have the selfie sticks now. Everything is about self. Now you help with self-discovery. Let's get into that, because I believe that self-discovery is very important, especially when you're getting into a relationship, because you have to know who you are first and love who you are first before you jump into anything. And that's my personal opinion. Let's talk about how do you help with self-discovery?
True what you said. It is very important, and not just in relationships, but in your life, period. Your personal life, your professional life, and even in dating. Self-discovery in its simplest form is pretty much why what you say isn't in alignment with what you do. A lot of people say they're a certain way, but their actions clearly show something different. So there's like an internal imbalance going on there with who you really are and who you think you are, who you say you are. So if you're someone who says, I'm a calm person, I'm a really calm person, but you're cussing somebody out every 15 minutes, you're not that calm person. Maybe you aspire to be calm, but right now the reality is you're not a calm person. So the beginning steps towards that discovery will be to face it and to own it and just say, you know what? I cuss people out and I don't know why. I want to be a calm person. I need to figure out, why do people set me off so much? Why do I go from 0 to 100 real quick? Why do I'm so quick to cuss somebody out? And once you can figure that out and get into that discovery of yourself, then you go on being that calm person or that more peaceful person that you want to be. So even if you make the discovery that I don't like ignorant people, ignorant people sets me off on the inside, and I'm quick to cuss an ignorant person out. So then start figuring out how you're going to handle that. Are you going to remove yourself when someone starts speaking ignorantly in front of you? Are you going to just change your perception and say, okay, this person is ignorant, but it's something dealing with them. It has nothing to do with me, so I don't have to respond to that. Those are the type of things that you start to do when you start to get on the path of self-discovery.
Now, how did you decide to get into the field of self-discovery? What made that your focus?
Because I did a lot for myself. That's how I got to where I am today. I'm a big observer. I observe myself a lot. I observe other people a lot. And that was the number one thing that I've noticed about people is that they're quick to say they're one way, but they're totally doing something else. And in my head, I would be like, but you said you're like this, but you're doing that. And I'm trying to figure out which is which. Are you really this or are you really that? And that's what I had to do for my own self. You know, am I really this or am I really that? Last week, I uploaded a video that was talking about a personal story of mine about a guy that I was dating who pointed out that I struggle with self-worth. Now, at that time, I thought I was good. I thought I was fine. I thought I had my handle on self-worth. But it took for him to bring that awareness to my attention, for me to notice that and say, okay, that is something I struggle with. I didn't see it for myself, but for him to come and tell me that, and for me to actually sit and observe myself and the way I was conducting myself with men, I had to come to that realization and say, I do struggle with that. Now, how am I going to fix that? What am I going to do differently to build my self-worth?
Yes, and it is very important that you have to start with you. And then it goes back to, as far as the relationship, if again you don't know who you are, how do you expect to have somebody else understand you? Because happiness starts here. It starts within. I see it happen all the time, the insecurities. I've never seen so many insecure people in my life, and I was one of them. But I realized that media helps us. You know, when we don't look a certain way and we see somebody with a dress on, we want to look just like that. Oh, if my stomach was flatter, that's me. Oh, if my stomach was flatter, I'll wear this and I'll wear that. But I realized that I can't worry about that. If I'm not unhappy with myself, do something about it. Go take a few laps around the block every day and see if you lose weight. It's not that it's impossible. It's just you won't get up and do it, you know, but it starts with you. Nobody has something that you cannot achieve. So I believe that's very important. I want to go back to the dating and single life. How do you help women that are struggling, that may not be with someone right now, but they feel lonely and they feel like, I'll give myself, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Like I said, dating this guy, we've been off and on. We go out every blue moon, literally. But then I started finding myself very lonely because we haven't established that we're together. We never established that. That's why I said we're dating. That's it. But I got lonely, and I don't have a ton of friends. I don't have a ton of people I hang out with because I have a very big trust issue just about people because I've been burnt so much. What would you tell someone like me that stays at home? I'm an outgoing person, but I'll stay at home because I don't have a lot of people to hang out with, but it gets really lonely at times, very lonely at times. But I'm not a person where I'll just go out and meet a guy and just go out with him just because I feel like it either. I'm very private and very, I don't know the word, but I'm to myself when it comes to something like that. So how would you help me as a single woman I'm doing my thing business-wise, but personally, my life can be pretty boring.
Well, I will point out the fact that the main thing that you said is that you had big trust issues. So that is where I would start if I was working with someone like you, is to figure out where those trust issues come from. A lot of times the change starts in the mind, and we hold in our mind old habits, old beliefs, old thoughts, old situations that keeps us held back from what it is that we really want. And so the fact that you say that you have big trust issues, that causes you to stay in the house a lot, that causes you, like you said, not to connect with other people, and you don't have a lot of friends because you have those trust issues. Now, had you not had those trust issues, you may be able to connect better with more people, which in turn would allow you to more mingle, catch a movie, go to a lounge, whatever it is that you may want to do to fill that loneliness void inside of you. Because a lot of times people feel lonely is because they're lacking somewhere in their life or something, whether it is their love life, whether it's their career life, their personal life, is a lack there. Because like you said, you could be dealing with someone in a relationship and you could still be lonely. You could have a single person who's not dealing with someone and they don't feel lonely because they're being fulfilled in their life.
Right. Very, very true. Very, very true. And what made you get into dating and into helping people that are single and dating? Because I haven't ran across that. I did have a lady, Charmaine, last week who I interviewed, and she does marriage and relationship she's marriage and relationship therapist, but you're digging in something a little different, and I don't hear about that much. So how did you get involved with that?
Once again, my own life, if you're going with your own experience, your own knowledge, what you're good at, and that's another thing of self-discovery is discovering what you're good at, your gifts, your talents, the situations you've been placed in life, your experiences in life, combining all of that together to say, okay, this is what I can go out into the world and do. So
Mhm.
I am a single lady. So, and I've been single for a long time. I've lost count. I don't even count anymore because I really don't care. Because I'm really focused on my business. I'm focused on my friends. I'm focused on my children. And I know that when the time comes that I will meet the man that, I truly want to be with. So that is why I chose singleness and dating, because that was another area I saw a lot of people struggled in. What usually happens is people focus on how long they've been single. And society today tells us that something's wrong with you if you've been single for X amount of time. And instead of you putting your focus and your energy into your career, your business, your family, or whatever you have in your life, and you're just focusing on how long you've been single, that typically causes you to go out and start dating in desperation, because you're starting to feel desperate now because you feel like, you know what, I've been single for 3 years. Something's wrong with me. I need somebody. The next man that walks across me that's good enough or that's decent enough, I'm just gonna snatch him up.
Yeah, that's me. I have my moments where I'm just like, you know what, I'm just gonna go date somebody. I know it's not hard. I'm gonna go out, find somebody, or somebody will find me. But then at the same time, because I want to be a wife. That to me, I always say I'm a wife. I'm not a girlfriend. I am a wife. My goals are to be. My goal is to be a wife, and I don't want to go out and date everybody. But then someone told me, "Well, come, need to get to know different people." But then I feel like, well, my Prince Charming will come and find me, and he'll sweep me off my feet, and we'll go ride in the sunset. But a part of me too just feels like it's so many people out there that are crazy. And after leaving an abusive relationship, something that I thought was going to last forever, it's hard to try to get back into society. Being married, I was married at 19 years old with him for a long time prior to that. So I didn't date the guy I'm talking to now. He's the only person that I dated since in my whole entire adult life.
Wow.
My marriage. So, people tell me to go out and meet people, and I have guys talk to me, and I'm never attracted to them. It's just something about them. But then there's something about this guy that I'm very attracted to. And I feel like it's okay as long as I know it's okay. And I'm not doing, like you said, just settling for somebody because they're there or just because I'm comfortable with them. And that's something I had to for the last couple of months, just kind of go through my mind and go through my head with it. But I don't want to meet a bunch of people.
Yeah.
That's just me. I mean, is that okay?
That is okay. That is absolutely okay. And usually what I call that is random dating. You don't really have a clear description of what it is you want. You have the clear description. You say you want to be a wife. And that's why I chose dating with a purpose. Your purpose is you want to be a wife. So you don't want to date every Tom, Dick, and Harry that come across your path. You have your outline of what it is you're desiring and you're seeking. So that's good, because when you're out here, and I do believe you do have to put yourself out there and be open to date, but that's why it's good to know your boundaries, your standards, and what it is you're looking for, so that when that man does come into your life and he doesn't fit those qualities, then you can immediately say, okay, it's no point in me wasting my time with this. I can end this right now.
Yes.
Going forward with it.
Yes. So just understanding that I have choices. I think that's probably one of the hardest things that I've dealt with, was understanding that I do have the choice. I can say no. I don't have to date everybody if I don't want to, and I can date if I want to. I always felt weird about it, but yeah, I have 3 kids. I don't believe in bringing people around my children. That's not going to be in my life for the long haul, because I just think it's unfair to them if I have every time they turn around, uncle this and uncle that, which I don't know why women call their boyfriends uncle. That's always creepy to me, but you know, the uncle this, uncle that thing, it just really gets to me. So anyhow, so enough about me. Let's talk a little bit more about your business. What are some things maybe we didn't talk about that you want to share before we wrap everything up?
Well, I do want to put out there for anybody who may not know about my new ebook called Renew Your Mind. And that workbook is a very powerful workbook. I shocked myself after I did it. I said, okay, God definitely used me as a vessel in this, because after I was done, I looked at it and I was like, I need to do this. I need to do my own workbook. I need to do this myself. And it's pretty much focusing on limiting beliefs, self-sabotaging thoughts, and also creating a vision for your life. So I like to break down the limited beliefs, which are thoughts that are keeping you limited in your life. Self-sabotaging thoughts, things like, I'm not smart enough to do this, I'm not pretty enough for that, you know, kind of defeating yourself with those thoughts. And also your beliefs, having faulty beliefs. A lot of people are carrying around beliefs that they've had since childhood, things that they've learned from their family, and then you ask them now, why do they believe that? They may not even know why. They'll just say, because that's what I learned growing up. But now that you're grown and you're, you know, discovering yourself, okay, well, what do you believe? What do you want to believe about money? What do you want to believe about your love life? What do you want to believe about yourself? And usually once you can start transforming your mind and opening up to new beliefs and new thoughts is when the world of possibilities can open up for you, and you can start to create the vision for your life that you really want. You can't create the vision and say you want to make $100,000 if you think that the most money you can ever make in a job is $40K a year. So you have to start changing your beliefs and your thoughts on that so that you can really start creating your vision and bringing what you want. And that ebook is free. It's totally free, and it's really good. So anybody that has not been to my website or my Facebook page to download it, I highly recommend you do that.
I'm gonna download it. I'm gonna work it out and talk about it, because I love what it is that you put out there. And what's the name of the ebook?
It's called Renew Your Mind.
Renew Your Mind. And oh my gosh, you and I, I'm telling you, you and I are so similar. That's been my prayer for the last few months, is the renewing of our minds and a renewing of my mind, because I want to look at things differently. My parents are old school. They're very old school. So when I say certain things like, oh, I'm going to be rich, or certain things, they're just like, okay, you know, that sounds great, but it's okay if you just have enough to get you afloat, or you're okay, or my dad said, you know, if you're well off in the sense that you're okay, you're comfortable. But I realized that we live in a different time. Back in the day, back in their day, they were, you know, if they made, I was watching Good Times, and they were excited because James was making $4,000 a year. I said, what? But you know, that's back in that day. They felt good. That was enough to sustain them. $4,000 a year. Can you imagine us making $4,000 a year? No, we'll all be out on the street is where we'll be. But you know, again, different time frames and everything. But I realized that it starts here. And when you know what you're capable of, and when you know what God can do for you, when you know what your passion and your purpose is, then sky is the limit. The only thing that's stopping you is yourself. So that workbook you have, I'm gonna work the workbook. I'm gonna work it. I'm going to work it, and then I'm going to bring you back, because I want to work the workbook, and I want to bring you back because I want us to get more in depth about that workbook, because I think that's really good for people, because they have to understand mindset. They have to understand change. They have to understand that it starts with them. And that's like the most important thing. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. And for anybody that's watching, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I said I'll be thrilled to come back.
Oh, yes, I definitely want you to come back. And anybody that's watching and you want to do the ebook, or you have questions, you can email me. My information will be up. Ebony's information will be up, so you can go to our website. Do the book. Let us know. Give us feedback. That's something I'm going to be requiring. I'll talk about this at the end. I want to start getting feedback on some things. Let us know how that has helped you. And what I'll do, Ebony, is once I do it, I will advertise it for you as well, so that people can see what it is that you're doing, because I just love that concept. I absolutely, absolutely love that concept. I see that my time is gone. What time is it? Yep, my time is over. So with that said, I want you to leave your contact information with everybody. Let them know how to get in contact with you.
Okay. My website is www.ebonyk.com, just the letter K. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn at Miss Ebony K. I'm also on Instagram at Miss Ebony_K. You can email me at info@ebonyk.com, and I'll be sure to email you back.
Okay, and it's info what?
info@ebonyk.com.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for being on my show. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I look forward to meeting up with you again.
Yes, definitely, for sure. I'm excited because what I'm doing, this is actually my last show for the next, or until the end of August. What I'm going to do is kind of do some revamping of my show, some revamping on the back end, because it takes a lot for me to do the show. I have to find clients. I have to do some research on them. There's a lot that I do on my own, and I want to make sure that I am very effective. I want to make sure that my guests are going to be great and even greater, and help them grow in their own businesses as well. And I would love to have Ebony to come back so we can go deeper into her workbook and maybe go section by section about some things and how we can help you renew your mind. And so that's something I'll be working on. I'm just really excited for everything the Lord is doing for me right now. All honor, glory goes to him. All praises go to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I know I'm not getting an award, but I just have to say that because he is the reason that I have this show 2 years later and I'm still standing. So I thank God for it. But for those that are watching, if you are interested in being on my show, you can send me an email at booking@speaks.com. And what you'll get is a form to fill out, and you will be pre-screened. Now, one time I was putting everybody on my show. If you said you wanted to speak, I was putting everybody on my show. But now what I'm going to start doing is pre-screening all my guests to make sure that they're a good fit for Kama Speaks, because I want to make sure that we are a dynamic duo each time we speak, and make sure we are effective, not only to you guys are effective to my audience, I'm effective to your audience, and we can grow this thing and we can grow each other, because I'm all about working together. I'm all about making dreams reality. So stay tuned, because Kama will be coming back. I'll be coming back stronger, and I thank you for your support up to this point. But things always have to change, and that's the beauty of what I do. I can say, you know what, enough is enough as of today. But I'm so glad I was able to end with Ebony. It gives you guys a chance to think about renewing your minds. It gives you a chance to self-discover who you are. And if you're single or you're dating, start looking at things and make sure that person is a good fit before you get married. Because I know a lot of people that are getting married and they're excited because they got a ring on their finger. But the question is, how great is your relationship? Is it going to be something that lasts? So anyhow, I'm sorry, my son kind of caught me off guard. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in to Kama Speaks. Make sure you follow me. My website will be back up hopefully within the next week. It'll be kamaspeaks.com. So check that out. And then also you can follow me subscribe to me here on YouTube. Follow me. I'm under Kama Speaks on Facebook. Make sure you like my page. I noticed my page is growing. So make sure you like my page so you can check out all of my great interviews. I'm going to be posting interviews. My goal is to post an interview every single day, especially while I'm out, so you can get a feel for what I do. And if you want to get in contact with me, if you want to be on the show, again, it's booking@kamaspeaks.com. If you want to book me for a show, if you want to book me for speaking, it's booking@kamaspeaks.com. If you just want more info, go to info@kamaspeaks.com, and make sure you reach out to Ebony as well. Let's not forget our guest. Her information will be posted. Check out what she's doing and see how she can help you by being your life coach. All right, you guys, thank you for tuning in. If you're watching live, I will be having another Blog Talk show. You can go to Blog Talk Radio, follow me there under Kama Speaks, and I will be speaking to Jason Oliver. It's going to be, the name of the topic is From the Mind of an Abuser. He used to abuse his wife, and he is on a different path. He'll be another upcoming guest next month for my upcoming shows. I'm really excited because he is on a great path. But sometimes you need to understand where the mindset is of a person and understand what they did, why they did it. Not that it was an excuse, but know that change can happen. So make sure you check me out on Blog Talk Radio. All right, you guys, follow me again on all of my, just Google me. Just do Kama Speaks. Google Kama Speaks. Trust me, I will come up everywhere. Follow me on Periscope as well under Kama Speaks. And remember, no matter what you do in life, always pursue your passion.